Hello, this is Rahim Lakhani here from the Lakhani Group. Once again, we have an excellent panel of speakers here presenting the Portuguese Golden Visa Program. We have the lineup is amazing today. We have Senior Vasco Manakis from Central Lisbon Real Estate. We have Dr. Barbara from Pax Legal. And we also have Dr. Margarita Torres from Prime Legal. So welcome everyone to today's webinar. As you know, we do this fairly regularly so that our investors and people who are looking to get into the program or people who just love us nearly and dearly and support us with the things that we do have requested again and again to hear from the expert panels that you are on the program, on the changes, on the things that are happening in Portugal. And so this is the platform that we would love to have. Very informal. We have lots of questions already coming in prior to the webinar from WhatsApp to Facebook to Twitter to God knows what. The phone has been ringing off the hook since Friday night. So it's been crazy, as I'm sure it is on your side. So once again, welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for spending your time here. And for the audience, please switch off your cell phones for the next 45 minutes or so, and plug in, listen in, think about this 45 minutes could really change the rest of your lives in a way if you of course take actions. Having that before the lineup goes, and this is what I traditionally do, love to show a quick video about Portugal and where we are at. So here it is.
Why do so many investors fall in love with Lisboa? Easy. There's no other city that combines this beautiful view with the beauty of these numbers. Lisboa is the closest European capital to the United States, South America and Africa, with 250 departures every day, and being the only capital in mainland Europe sharing the same time zone with the British capital, with more than 300 days of sunshine throughout the year. Lisboa is surrounded by more than 20 wonderful golf courses, only 4 train stations away from the beach, and just 1 hour drive from Nazaré, home of the biggest waves on the planet. Selected to be the 2020 European Green Capital, Lisboa transforms ecological concerns into reality, being the first European city to have a municipal fleet where 100% of light vehicles are electric, a huge recharging network with more than 540 stations, and 100% of the city lights running with LED technology. Innovation and adaptation are part of the mindset, with 90 colleges that produce 30,000 graduates a year, with 60% of them in business, tech or math degrees. No wonder Lisboa attracts global investment from all around the globe into our entrepreneurial community, an ecosystem dedicated to helping new businesses where 2 new startups are created every day. With more than 100 co-working spaces spread all over Lisboa, and with a 90-kilometer bike lane that reaches all corners of the city. It's so easy to enjoy the view commuting to work using one of the 2,150 shared bikes and 5,500 soft mobility vehicles. How about this? Lisboa is well known as a city that embraces diversity and welcomes all kinds of races, ethnicities and religious beliefs. All that in a city with 7 Michelin-starred restaurants, and this sunset included. So, how about investing in Lisboa? Lisboa, the beautiful side of business.
Always gets us going, seeing this beautiful video here and presenting to everyone that asks us why Portugal. So this 1 minute gives you that refresher. And now I have the pleasure, so let me introduce to the expert panel speakers that we have, starting off with Senior Vasco. He's a management consultant, a financial consultant as well, and prime broker at the Central Lisbon which is located right in the heart of downtown Lisbon. We also have Dr. Barbara Pestana from Pax Legal Group. She's an attorney, specializes in the investment and migration. So it's a boutique law firm that has specialty in family and inheritance law, as well as real estate, as well as intellectual property. And also we have Dr. Maria Margarida Torres from Prime Legal, and her expertise is largely into the Golden Visa Program, into family reunifications, the nationality processes. She also has organized other webinars, so please check it out on YouTube as well. And she's been a speaker at various national and international conferences, and has represented clients from China, London, US, South Africa. The list goes on and on. So we have such a pleasure here to have this expert panel. So let those questions come in, and but I'll go right into the meat and potatoes of the conversation of what happened. So let's kick it off with Dr. Barbara first, to see her impressions on this. So the first question, Dr. Barbara, that we have here is what is the draft law that was published, and what is your interpretation? So let's take a hack at it.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Raim. Thank you for this invitation. Going to your question. This proposal is about ending the Golden Visa, unfortunately, and of the position of the government and the changes that have been made to the first proposal on February 16th. Of course, the wording of this draft is more favorable than the previous one. We have, for instance, the 16th February date that was referred and was seen as a great menace to the investors that was left behind. This is a key point. So there are, of course, a lot of things yet to be improved and clarified. But this goes in the good way, I believe, for the investors. And just to tell you, so the program will end, but the renewals of the residence permits will maintain with no condition. The other conditions that we thought would have come for the program. That means that they could only be renewed if there were if the investment was used for the own proposal of housing, or their children, or if it would be rented for at a minimum of 5 years. So this was also put aside. So what I believe is that we are in a good path. The grantings of the residence permits, the permanent residence permits, will be allowed. The concessions will be allowed until the law enters in force. That's mainly the key questions, I believe. Also, of course, that there will be a change from the Golden Visa regime to the sort of a D7. So it's a residence for investors, entrepreneurs that will be replacing the Golden Visa, but with the good thing that the date, the permanence, the mandatory period of permanence here in Portugal will not be as in the general rule for the generality of the residence visas, but for 7 days each year, or 14 days for every 2 years, as it exists already in the Golden Visa.
Perfect. I think that summarizes very well, Dr. Barbara. Let's hear it actually now, even from Dr. Maria. Dr. Maria, what's your interpretation of the draft law, And also, if you can highlight the fact of the works that has been happening to lead to this draft law itself.
A lot for the change of this proposal, especially to avoid the retroactive of the law, which, in our opinion, is completely unconstitutional. We have also several legal opinions from university professors in the area of constitutional law that believes that this is not constitutional. And the goal was to maintain the renewals as foreseen in the actual law, because the investment taking into consideration a legal safety of the law, and this is what usually happen in Portugal when a law is changed. So the last change, they gave a huge transition period of 1 year. So now we are fighting for a new amendment to foresee a huge period of transition, because we still believe that it's not constitutional to simply close the program without a transition period, because some investors are finishing the investment, some developers, brokers, they did huge investments and they are still waiting for license for construction or license of use. So, in our opinion, there are a lot of things that needs to be foreseen in the final wording of the proposal. We believe that are good news. At least the government changed the first proposal, in the sense that we were making some suggestions, which is very good. The conversion in the normal residents raised a lot of issues for the foreigners, because for a normal residents, the investors or the foreigners, they need to live in Portugal at least 6 months and 1 day in a period of 2 years, which means the validity of the residence card, which it's not. It was not the goal of our Golden Visa clients and the investors in the Golden Visa program, because the law foreseen the 7 days period of stay as a minimum requirement of stay in Portugal. So this was not in line with the Golden Visa program. So the most part of the investors will not be able to comply with this requirement. So now the proposal foresee the conversion in the normal residence, the entrepreneur visa, D2, but maintaining the small period of stay in Portugal as a requirement, 7 days per year. Which is good, but it's not very well clarified in what terms they will make the conversion, if the investment needs to be changed for an entrepreneur investment, or so we have to try to obtain this clarification from the final wording of the proposal.
So just to kind of unwrap that a little bit more, and if you could actually even highlight, you have the draft law, which of course is a bit abstract in nature. What actually has to happen as a next step so that it becomes more concrete? So from a draft law until the final destination where developers, investors, and lawyers can actually apply materially to the program, what has to happen from today until that final delivery is given by the government? So if you could kind of walk through that journey a little bit as well.
Well, at this moment we are waiting for the discussion in the parliament that could take around 20 days, and then the proposal will go to the president, that has three options: to reject and goes again to the parliament, to send to the constitutional court, or just accept the law, publish, and the law will be in force. We believe that in a period of 45 days we will not have the final the law in force, because it takes some time for this whole process, and this is the worst case scenario. We believe that will take a little bit more than 45 days, but it's only a speculation and our hope. And we are fighting for new amendments on the proposal to be more protected for the foreigners and the investors.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Maria. Now let's maybe even hear from Senior Vasco, from a point of view of real estate, because you are a real estate expert here. So the draft law was announced. What changes are you seeing in the market from an investor perspective? Confidence, no confidence. What are you seeing? How is the market kind of shaking up from that perspective?
Well, good afternoon to all. Thank you for having me today. It's simple. I think it's basically all these comments that were made by the people who spoke before. We are lawyers. I'm an engineer. I'm not a lawyer, so I look to this in a different manner. I mean, I take even lawmaking and as a construction as if it was an engineering project. It's kind of, and what happened is there was an announcement that really put everyone a little bananas, as it was full of. I don't think I don't know. It was a not well thought through thing. A lot of clear illegalities from national law, international law, and the first fact, and that put everyone in the real estate on alert. Really, it was something that everyone was a bit on high stress. Exactly what it was comment before. Lots of investments, and investments were not made for this year. They were made long term, taking into consideration that Portuguese government would be a person of respect, and it's respect. It can be gained. It takes years to be earned, and we can lose it in very few minutes. Respect and trust. I think this situation of going back to changing the law, and I think there were changes being required in the law. The first of which is to drop off the name Golden Visa. It seems very silly and very unimportant, but I'd say 80% of the media noise is due to the name of the visa. It really creates a bad noise and a bad reputation behind the name. Because when we start scratching the actual people and the actual business behind it, of course you find one or another that has a problem, but that's a very small percentage. That's a very small percentage of people. So basically, this is what came. So the first fact was kind of people in real estate kind of reignited, felt great comfort and great confidence, saying that, law, rule of law has been reinstalled in this business. And I think this is the most important underlying message that we have from this draft law. It's the rule of law has been reinstalled. Now, there are omissions. I'd say necessarily there are omissions. There were some strong, bold statements made that were wrong. So having the government to go back in 60 days to reverse, I would say almost 80% of the bold statements that were made makes it's very difficult for a government and at least I think they were humble enough to recognize that it was really a bad move, and that's what comes out in this draft law. I was asking, the draft law has been submitted to the Parliament just a few minutes ago. I actually got a copy as just a few minutes before starting this conference call. I didn't have the time to read the final version. So I think 45 or 20 days to, it's a 80 pages document, 82 pages document. I think it will take a little more than 20 days to go, because it has to be still approved by the Parliament. Then it goes down to the subcommittee. Then it comes up again. And 20 days in the Parliament seems a bit short, but sometimes they can be effective. Let's see if that's the case. I'm not so sure. I mean, that's not the track record for the Parliament has not been that fast, but it could be with this law, given the urgency that is requested for analyzing, and the Socialist Party can push it through. Some of the points that were made here and that are very important for the thing is the parts that have been omitted so far. I mean, a lot of things have been reversed, others have been omitted. The Golden Visa as such, some of the programs that were included in the Golden Visa have been passed already, or will pass apparently, to the D2, such as, and exactly with the same structure as the Golden Visa, such as culture, research, and other minor options that have been not been used in the past, but they continue through. So apparently, it's kind of suddenly it's not to be finished. The only thing that doesn't say it is to be finished, it's to be transitioned, and then they leave the message open. We don't know the transition period. We don't know how long it's going to take. But I'd say we need also to bear a little bit with the government and the Parliament, because after the bold statement 60 days ago, they need some time to recover. They have already made a long way, and hopefully the real estate, all the stakeholders in this process, lawyers, real estate people, even the civil community, will probably step in, making some inputs to actually make this transition, this law. So I'd say it's not written there, but I wonder if there's not going to be something for real estate in the end, given certain, because some of the pressure, I won't call it lobbies, but some of the pressure to keep the Golden Visa in the real estate, at least out of the big cities. In certain cities, there is a lot of pressure from local municipalities to keep it. We have been, because of the different golden, we have been in touch with them, and it's kind of the comment they make is, now that we're making something out of it, it's finished.
They're changing the rules.
Now that was reaching us, it goes away. So it's kind of they feel like being treated with double unfairness. First, they are far away. Now they are being reached, and they cut them the supply of investment. It's kind of I don't know if you have been in the in the municipalities across out of the big cities. Like, there are 300 and something municipalities, and the ones that need eventually to be where we have this contention and these problems are probably 10, 12, 15, 20. So it's less than 10%. What about the other 90%? They are exactly in the opposite direction, very silently, but putting a lot of pressure in Parliament. And don't forget the deputies, the people in the Parliament, they have been elected by those people outside. So I would expect, I mean, I don't have a big illusion, but I would expect that going forward, I wouldn't that the current draft will have, and I share my views with Dr. Margarida Torres, which is that the coming discussion will probably bring more light and better avenues and better endings than the ones that we can foresee now, because they are not there. I think they are just not there, or they were omitted, but I would say they were omitted because of the context where they were where we are coming from in the past 60 days. But this is my view. Very simple. I think people have started to regain trust, and I think we need still there is still some path and some work to be done on the next few weeks. I'd say 20, 40, 50 days, 2 months until this gets done. But and then but you need just to be attentive and put ourselves as much input and as much common sense as it is maybe required to make a better law. That's my view.
Thank you, Vasco. I mean, that is such a good, a comprehensive view on how the market is feeling, and all the way through to how even the municipalities are feeling, and feeling a
You
bit.
should know, because you talk a lot with Alcázar. Alcázar must be one of them.
Of course, yeah. No, we have spoken directly to the president of Alcázar, and shared our frustrations, and
He shares my view.
we have been heard. So I think that is very, very obvious that the message reached to the right places, and we could see the results. Now, moving into, again, just a couple of questions that we have here from the audience, and then this time we'll talk to Dr. Barbara on the panel here. Dr. Barbara, the question, there are two questions here actually. One is the continuation of application. So the question here is that, so some people are already in the application. They have not made applications for their family members. The Golden Visa effectively is going to shut down. Can they do the reunifications even after the Golden Visa is shut down, or they have to do some other documentation for the reunification?
They can do family reunifications. The article that we use even nowadays with the Golden Visa regime in force is the article 98 number 2. This is the general regime for the family reunification that will not be revoked. So obviously it will continue to exist.
Okay. So that is not getting shut down. There is no change in that article per se, even though RE or Golden Visa is getting permanently cut off, right?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. So then the second question on part of that is also into the fact of renewals, because as you obviously know, currently there is a 2-year residency card and there is a 3-year residency card. However, the draft law proposed a 1-year, 2-year, and 2-year. Now, what is the idea behind this? Is it going back, or like what's happening here?
That was the first that was the first timelines for the validity of the cards when the regime was in force. Also, it was the general regime of the law for almost for the general the most part of the residencies. Nevertheless, it has changed. It has passed for 2 years, renewable for more 3 years in general terms. For the Golden Visa, it was different. It was 2 years, renewable for 2 years, and again 2 years. I am not sure of what is behind this. I mean, I may be sure because the 2+2+2 came because of the pandemics. So maybe the government thinks that, well, there is no more pandemic, so there is no more reason to have 2+2+2. Let's go back to 1+2+2.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna continue that question, but I'd love to hear actually even from Dr. Maria here, and the question that is just to continue, because these are new changes being proposed as you see, but it's still in draft. What is your legal opinion, let's say, in a way that could this be reversed back to what was previously announced? So in the draft there was no retroactivity, but in the announcement there was. Can it come back again in the parliamentary discussion, and then they can go back to what they announced back in February, and not continue on with the draft proposal, and actually approve something that was something else? Do they have to follow the same draft as it was proposed, or they can actually open it up for conversation and really approve what they feel is necessary to approve?
No, now the final wording is without the retroactive of the law, and that is the proposal that will be discussed in the Parliament. Of course, following the discussion in the Parliament, it's common that that wording of the proposal of law will be amended, but we don't believe that will be amended for a worst situation for the foreigners or investors. I think that this question is completely overcome,
Okay.
and the amendments will be better for the foreigners and for the investors.
Okay. That's great to hear, because again, you have so many people who are not aware of the local politics or the local laws, and when they hear the word draft, they always think, okay, so now it's still in draft, so I'm still not confident enough to move ahead with the investment, right? So what are you doing from as a legal person to try to tell the people that, okay, like, this is not reversing, this is moving forward in the best interest of the public, right? So that's the idea.
Yes, because a lot of changes were done, taking into consideration the best interests of the foreigners that already invested in the country or that are still investing, and also for the pending processes. So we don't believe with a new version of the proposal of law, more in line with the law and the principles of a democracy state, that they will go again back to the first version of the law, and no one will agree with this in the parliament. As I told you, I think it's completely unconstitutional, and the most part of people knows that. It's strange because our prime minister is also a lawyer, and was a student of our president that was a professor of constitutional law too. So this all was very strange in our opinion, of course. But we believe that the proposal will be much better than it is at this moment. There are a lot of pressure being made by us, by all the people that are working in this field, brokers, funds, etc. So we believe that we will achieve a better wording of the law. We
Absolutely.
hope so.
We hope so. We hope so that the program thrives. It changes its format. It removes the bad word, golden visa, let's say, that has been abused, pretty much globally. It's not just a Portuguese problem; it's a global problem. So I think the government is doing a fantastic job, at least at the moment, to try to still accommodate the international investors and keep their ears and eyes open. The question that comes now, you talked about a potential transition period, yes, that may be achieved, may not be achieved, but there was also a talk about entrepreneurial investments after this, which continues on with the 7-day regime. Can you guide the people watching? Is someone, let's say, who has invested 3 years ago in a habitational property in a house, how can they prove that this is an entrepreneurial investment when they are up for renewals? So if you can highlight what is the idea behind the entrepreneurial side of investment.
This is what is not clear in this proposal, because the most part of the investments that were done could be not considered as entrepreneur investments. That's why the people made the Golden Visa program instead of the D2 visa and the entrepreneur program. So my opinion is that revoking the articles in the law regarding the Golden Visa, they needed to convert in a type of residence that was more similar to the Golden Visa program. And the entrepreneur visa, it's the article more similar to this program foreseen in the law. So I think it's just a matter of having something in the law to protect and to foresee this kind of residence. But in fact, I believe, and we will try to fight for this amendment, is that the conversion will be quite automatic and not with additional requirements or conversion of the investments already made in a different type of investment. So we will see. It's only my interpretation about what they want to make.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what you're saying and what I'm hearing is that there is still a lot of work to be done from the side of the government.
Exactly.
And until then, the current law stays. Until then, the people can still apply under the current regime of Golden Visa, the
Yes.
280 category, the 350, the 500, the investment funds. Everything is just as alive as it was yesterday.
Yes,
So
the program is working as usual. The law is still in force. What we are facing is that investors are more confident to proceed now,
yeah.
the ones that were on hold. But we are receiving a lot of inquiries and clients that want to proceed immediately. So our recommendation is, if you really want to obtain the residence through the Golden Visa program, it's better to do it immediately in order to be considered the pending process. So when the new law will enter into force, will be only for the future cases and not for the pending processes. Also for the ones that don't have all the complete package of the documents, of course, it would be better to submit the process completed, but if not possible, we are suggesting to submit with the documents they have and wait for the notification from the immigration services requesting the additional and missing documents. But at least will be considered, in our opinion, a pending process, so the current law will be applicable and it's safest for the clients.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think this is also another good segue to Vashko again here. And love to ask you, Vashko. You are seeing a lot of clients that are now coming back to the table, asking for projects to invest, asking for the rush that's coming back again. What are you recommending now that we know it could be as little as 30 days or it could be as much as 1 year? What are you recommending in terms of projects or preparations that they must do as a next step so they can have a secure application?
Well, you to make it again. This is probably my bloody engineering background. Is to I like the KISS methodology. Means keep it simple and stupid. And so basically what is happening, what people, when they depending, we do normally 1 or 2 questions to qualify how to manage the clients around. Okay, one is what for do they need immediately, and in the and the medium long term, the Golden Visa are just using this as a safety network because they come from a an unstable country, and but they want to live there, or they still have kids that are very young and they don't want to move now. They want to move in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, or they want to move now immediately, or they don't want to move at all. So there are three basically groups. For the group that doesn't want to come and leave, we end up recommending, projects like Palácio do Sal, because it's KISS. It's a simple, no problems, get in, get out, get the golden visa, get what you are looking for. So you get your benefits, you get the project done, finished, and you have all the support. No issues. For the other two groups, I'd say for the group that doesn't plan to come straight away, it's similar, but we give them normally a small pack of an overview of what could be their complementary investment, because it's kind of saying, let's do something like Palácio do Sal. It's probably at this moment the best quality price available in the marketplace for golden visas. There are we have lots of competitors in others, but when we start scratching, then it's always Palácio do Sal always wins by a few euros, or 5 or 6 thousand euros cheaper than the other ones, because it's a vehicle. So you are not buying it for use; you are buying it as a vehicle to something else.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's the purpose. And then we offer them a pack depending if their kids are coming for still doing the high school, they are going for the IBs, they are coming for the university, whatever, or if people are coming for a retirement. So this means that they will need at some point in time to contemplate their lifestyle. So we give them a golden visa that is not expensive, and at the same time we look for a property to serve their lifestyle. Okay, if they come on a retirement is something. If they come and they still are active and they need to take kids to school, they need to be near school. So we give them all the information and all the small packages that go with it. If people want to come to Portugal straight, we offer immediately directly two offers. One offer, something simple to get the golden visa sorted out, and then an investment to live. And that could be an apartment in Lisbon, depending then on budget, on lifestyle, on requirements, an apartment, a villa, whatever could be. We have actually, I've got a client now that has been on and off from Azerbaijan, and what he wants a golden visa there, and at the same time he wants a villa with sea view in Sintra. So he's ready to pay a couple of million for a villa, and then but the villa will not serve his golden visa. So what we do is first get the golden visa, and then we take care of the lifestyle. If it is something immediately, we offer both packages. Yeah. Very simple. We make it very clear, and we tell them it's simple, and it's how it is organized, so it does not affect. Yeah, you can as an investor, international investor, you can buy any property in Portugal. There is no limitation to that. So, and that goes. So they have one for golden visa and one for lifestyle.
While you are on that topic, maybe demythify something that it is golden visa investors that have raised the property of housing in Lisbon. Can you just touch base on that?
Come on. Listen, I know. I was a scientist on my early days, and every time I see this statement, I cannot stop laughing. And I say, if whoever said that came to my classes, that would fail, but with a 0. Go back to school and go back to see the classes. The total housing and let's put it this way: if we look on a world on a Portugal basis, it's golden visa housing is 0.6%. No, sorry, golden visa real estate is 0.6%. A lot of this is tourism, offices, and shops, and a little bit residence. Not much. At least these days, for more than 2 days, at Lisbon, Porto, and Algarve has been out of the residence scope. So it's out of scope for golden visa. So this has reduced. So talking about in total, it's probably less than 0.6, 0.4. And if we take Lisbon, because it's bigger, it will be always under 1%. Under 1% of the total transactions. You talk about Lisbon area as 40,000 to 60,000 transactions per year, depending on the year. We're talking about golden visa, 1,000 spread across the country. So talking about 400, 0.400, 500 in Lisbon, and it's not residential. So doesn't make it's kind of it's one of these situations where the data, I mean, scientists suppose and researchers supposed to look to data. Okay, if you mistreat the data, then you are not going anywhere. And basically, this statement is I mean, I'd say to be soft and sympathetical is just rubbish. So it's complete rubbish. Any statement like that is kind of it's only I would say people who have not faced any sort of research project in their life that can make these statements or can put forward statements like that. It is I normally joke saying the only thing that I know that where 0.06% makes a difference is on steel, where iron gets 0.6% of carbon to make from iron to steel. But that's metallurgy. It's not real estate, and it's not housing. In these areas of knowledge, normally to be relevant, a factor needs to be at least 20%. That's what is materially in the areas of humanities and like planning, urban planning, and so on. A factor to be determinant, to be relevant on a particular context. I mean, anything below 15%, you don't even look to it.
It's an outlier.
About 0, something.
It's an outlier.
I mean, it's where are we coming from? I mean,
No,
I don't know.
so
I
no
used
great,
to give lessons and teaching urban and regional planning, and so that's why I'm a bit I don't know, upset.
great analysis.
It gets to my nerves. Actually, it gets to my nerves.
It's,
I understand that, and it's not good, but it is. That's why I think that some of the statements, bold statements that were made, were so wrong that they had to be taken back. And because you cannot stand behind them. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
And I think that at least shows some humility, some humble trying to get. And I share my views with Dr. Margarida Torres that if we keep pushing and we keep put common sense into this, we'll get a better final law than the current draft. I think that's our job for the coming weeks, and I'd say probably 2 months, 82 pages, line by line in subcommittee. I don't think 20 days is going to be enough, especially because there is a lot of fight between the parties there. It's going to be, and politicians, they have one characteristic: they like to speak, even if they only themselves are listening to themselves. So it's impossible to discuss 82 pages in 20 days, only if they work nights.
Maybe. let's get the floor to everyone for maybe some closing remarks, and see what everyone has to say. So I'll open the floor again. Go ahead, Dr. Barbara. Some closing remarks from your side. Just some thoughts to share, and some words of wisdom for our investors and people who are watching Portugal.
It's really a pity that the program is going to end now that, like Vasco said, we were reaching to some place. I hope that the government has common sense and makes this with minimum harm for the investors as possible. Putting the transition period at least until December. That's what I think it would make sense because of all the investments in the pipeline. So many developers have made such a huge investment.
Please, wait for us here.
The same importance that the investments that our foreigners are going to make,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course. So this is big. This is a really important matter. Well, I hope for the best. Let's pray for a transitory period. The changes that have been made to the first draft proposal are really better. But as Dr. Maria said, there is a lot to be worked on, and let's stick together.
Fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's true.
Dr. Margarida, what are your closing remarks, please?
Just to answer very quickly to the questions that are on the right, the for the family reunion, the minimum requirements for residents are the same for the main applicants. They have to be in Portugal 7 days per year. And regarding the biometric appointments, it's only 1 year and a half, more or less, after we start the application online. So because of the delays and the biometric collection, it's only at the end of the process. My remarks, we will keep fighting, doing a lot of lobby, and we will try to make a proposal of amendment of this law, trying to put everything as an entrepreneur visa. So with different wording and artistically speaking, but to keep everything as it is, but under the name of entrepreneur visa. We will try and we will see and fight for a huge transition period. But the goal is avoid the total end of this program because Portugal needs foreign investment and money more than ever. So we hope that they do the best for the country. We will see.
And Senior Vasco.
Well, I'd say it's again. I think the the most difficult move already happened. That was backtracking. I would say 80% of the way that was laid back 2 months ago. I would say going forward, we need to be. I mean, we need to continue to be active, to participate, to make the improvement. We got some real result for this 2 months discussion because it's not easy. I don't remember in my lifetime backtracking in the law in 60 days as it happened in this particular case. I don't recall. I lived a lot of many years out of country in other countries, but it's really I don't recall having seen anything like that in my lifetime. So I'd say I'm hopeful that we get there. There are I would say even that there are some areas for the, and I'd call it, I mean, as like I will stop calling it Golden Visa because I don't particularly got the name, and I think we should start dropping it. And I think that's to change. Golden Visa required a change, but it was not required to be so painful. And the thing here is, I think there is one Golden Visa, one D2 investment, D7, whatever. We can say D2 vanilla, D2 strawberry, D2 banana, D2 whatever taste. There is one that I think will be very helpful, even for Lisbon and Porto and so on. There's a Golden Visa specialized on picking up the social residence. So instead of claiming against or shouting against, saying, listen, there is no way. I mean, when I heard some government official saying that they would get from the private sector 1,000 houses, but how many thousand houses are missing? 1,000. All this fuss for getting 1,000 houses. Come on, give us a break. When the government has about 40 or 30,000 stopped, how? And there is no management possible. There is no money. So the good thing would be to have, I mean, I would say a program pretty much in the line as we have in Palácio do Sal.
Exactly.
But supported by the government. Okay, government puts their own properties on sale for golden visas to do the what is required for the residents, for it with the low prices, while it controlled prices. Very simple. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's very down to the earth and very much common sense.
Absolutely.
And I still hope that this will show up in the next few months.
We hope so too. But let me thank everyone here for your time. Really appreciate it. And to everyone that's watching us patiently online and sending all of your questions. So we'll send this out. It's on YouTube, on LinkedIn. But please do reach out to the expert individually as well, and we'll share all of the contacts also. So keep the confidence on, keep the flag of Portugal on, and this is an excellent place, a beautiful place to invest. So keep coming to Portugal. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.